The United States has been hit by natural disasters of all kinds and struck by countless deadly events, including accidents and terrorist attacks. But have you ever wondered what the most devastating disaster was in each state? In this video, we delve into American history and bring you the deadliest disasters from each state. Let's go and find out all about them. Arkansas. Great Mississippi Flood of 1927. The Great Mississippi Flood was the most devastating river flood in American history, covering an extension of 27,000 miles. Arkansas, in particularly, was heavily affected. Over 750,000 people lost their homes and belongings. The death toll is estimated to have been somewhere between 250 and 1,000. Arizona. Labor Day Storm. Tropical Storm Norma hit Arizona from September 4 to 5, 1970, bringing heavy rainfall and devastating flash flooding. Damages amounted to over $7.6 million United States dollars and 23 people lost their lives. Alabama. Deep South Tornado Outbreak. On March 21, 1932, at least 38 tornadoes hit the South, killing over 200 people and injuring over 2,000 in Alabama alone. This series of tornadoes remains the most devastating disaster in the state to this day. Alaska. Great Alaskan Earthquake. On March 27, 1964, Alaska was shook by a powerful earthquake with a magnitude of 9.2. In just 4 minutes, the ground opened up, structures collapsed, and there were tsunamis and landslides. Some 131 people lost their lives, in what remains the strongest earthquake ever to hit North America since records began. California. 1906 San Francisco Earthquake. On April 18, 1906, the state was hit by a violent earthquake, which destroyed a great part of San Francisco and killed approximately 3,000 people. Colorado. Big Thompson Canyon Flood. 12 inches of rain in just 4 hours caused a devastating flash flood of the Big Thompson River on July 31, 1976. The disaster claimed the lives of 144 people. Connecticut. Hartford Circus Fire. On July 6, 1944, about 8,000 people were caught by surprise when a fire broke out in the tent of Ringling Bros and Barnum and Bailey Circus. Hundreds were injured and 167 people lost their lives in the disaster. Delaware. Gale of 1878. In 1878, a devastating tropical storm formed in the Caribbean and traveled north across the east coast of the U.S. Delaware was hit by heavy rainfall and strong winds, causing widespread destruction of crops and infrastructures. Florida. Okeechobee Hurricane. On September 6, 1928, the area of Lake Okeechobee, which had recently been fustigated by heavy rains, was hit by a hurricane. Over 2,500 people lost their lives in the state. Georgia. Tupelo-Gainesville Tornado Outbreak. Between April 5 and 6, 1936, a total of 17 tornadoes hit the southeast. It's estimated that over 200 people were killed by the disaster. Hawaii. Attack on Pearl Harbor. On December 7, 1941, Imperial Japanese forces attacked the U.S. base Pearl Harbor in Honolulu. Some 3,581 people were killed and around 300 U.S. airplanes and 20 ships were destroyed by the attack. The United States Congress declared war on the Empire of Japan the next day. Idaho. Sunshine Mine Disaster. On May 2, 1972, a deadly fire broke out at the Sunshine Mine in Kellogg, Idaho. Tragically, many miners didn't make it to the exit. Some 91 workers lost their lives. The disaster was key to change the law and led to the Mine Safety and Health Act of 1977. Illinois. Tri-State Tornado. On March 18, 1925, a tornado outbreak brought destruction mainly to Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana, but also to great part of the Midwestern and southern U.S. states. Illinois was particularly affected, with cities such as Murfreesboro registering 234 deaths. Indiana. Circus Train Wreck. This devastating wreck occurred on June 22, 1918, when an engineer driving a military train fell asleep and crashed into the back of the Hammond Circus train. There were 400 circus performers and workers on the train, and 86 people were killed. A further 127 were injured. Iowa. The Comanche Tornado. In 1860, a deadly tornado hit several counties in Iowa, but was particularly devastating to the city of Comanche. Approximately 140 people lost their lives, and most of the town was destroyed. Kansas. Udall Tornado. On May 25, 1955, the town of Udall was virtually blown away by a violent tornado, killing at least 80 people. Kentucky. 2021 tornado cluster. In December 2021, a rare, but brutal, tornado cluster hit several states, causing great damage in Kentucky. In all, 80 of a total of 90 fatal victims were from the Bluegrass State. Louisiana. Great October Storm. The Chenier Caminada hurricane hit the state on September 27, 1893, causing mayhem and killing approximately 2,000 people. Maine. Ottawa train wreck. The fatal train accident occurred near Ottawa on December 20, 1919. A freight train collided with a train carrying immigrants from England and Scotland. Some 23 passengers died and over 50 were injured. Maryland. Alum Chine explosion. On March 7, 1913, a steamer called Alum Chine carrying dynamite to build the Panama Canal exploded while loading up at Fort Carroll on the Patapsco River. It is estimated that between 40 and 50 people died and over 60 were injured. Massachusetts. Boston smallpox outbreak. A smallpox outbreak in Boston in 1721 caused approximately 850 deaths and infected roughly half of the city's population. Luckily, Puritan clergyman Cotton Mather introduced inoculation, which was key to containing the disease. Michigan. Peshtigo Fire. The Great Midwest Wildfires, otherwise known as the Peshtigo Fire, ravaged the Midwest in October 1871. It is estimated that at least 500 people lost their lives in Michigan alone. Minnesota. Cloquet Fire. A forest fire devastated many parts of the state in October 1918, including towns such as Cloquet, Kettle River, and Moose Lake. The death toll was approximately 1,000. Mississippi. Hurricane Katrina. Hurricane Katrina hit the U.S. in August 2005, and it caused widespread destruction across 5 states. Mississippi was one of the most affected, with 238 deaths and millions in damages. Missouri. Joplin tornado. A deadly tornado struck Joplin, Missouri, on May 22, 2011. Its 200 mph winds destroyed pretty much everything in its path, killing over 160 people and injuring over 1,000. Montana. Speculator mine disaster. A fire broke out at a copper mine in Butte on June 8, 1917, killing 168 workers. Most died suffocated as the fire consumed the oxygen. Nebraska. Easter tornadoes. At least 5 tornadoes traveled across Nebraska on March 23, 1913, causing widespread destruction. Omaha and Ralston were particularly devastated. Nevada. MGM Grand Fire. A fire broke out in the famous Las Vegas hotel and casino MGM Grand on November 21, 1980. The deadliest disaster in the state killed 87 people. New Hampshire. The Great New England Hurricane of 1938. From flooding to fires, the hurricane that hit the state in 1938 was truly devastating. Nearly 9,000 homes got destroyed, 564 people died, and about 1,700 were injured as a result. New Jersey. Hoboken Docks Fire. On June 30, 1900, a fire broke out and spread to the Hoboken Docks, killing over 300 people. New Mexico. Dawson Mine Explosion. A coal mine explosion in the town of Dawson, New Mexico, on February 8, 1923 killed about 263 people, including miners and rescuers. New York. 9/11 attacks. 2 planes hijacked by terrorists crashed into New York City's Twin Towers on September 11, 2001. Some 2,977 people lost their lives, and the world changed forever after this tragic event. North Carolina. Enigma and Carolina's tornado outbreaks. 2 events mark the deadliest disaster in North Carolina. These were the 1884 Enigma outbreak, which consisted of 37 tornadoes, and the 1984 Carolinas tornado outbreak, which hit the state with 24 storms. North Dakota. Schoolhouse blizzard. Snow and wind killed a whopping 235 people in 1888. The blizzard fatally affected mostly children trying to make their way home from school. Ohio. Great Flood of 1913. From March 23 to 26, 1913, several rivers flooded following days of heavy rain. At least 428 people lost their lives in this disaster. Oklahoma. Tulsa Race Massacre. For 2 days, May 31 to June 1, 1921, mobs of enraged white people attacked Tulsa's black residents. This was in response to a rumor of sexual assault by a local black man on a white woman. Businesses and homes were destroyed, and about 300 African Americans lost their lives. Oregon, Heppner Flood. The Heppner flash flood occurred on June 14, 1903, killing at least 238 people. The flood waters ended up contaminating the drinking water, which resulted in further deaths down the line. Pennsylvania, Johnstown Flood. A dam collapsed in Johnstown on May 31, 1889, and around 4.8 billion gallons of water flooded the town. Over 2,000 people lost their lives. Rhode Island, Station Nightclub Fire. A fire broke out during a show of the band Great White at the Station nightclub in West Warwick, on February 20, 2003. Some 100 people tragically lost their lives and about 230 more were injured. The fire was caused by pyrotechnics. South Carolina, Sea Islands Hurricane. A hurricane struck Sea Island, off the coasts of Georgia and South Carolina, on August 27, 1893. This was one of the deadliest ever recorded in the U.S., killing at least 2,000 people. Subsequent starvation and an outbreak of malaria caused even more deaths in the aftermath. South Dakota, Black Hills Flood. Also known as the Rapid City Flood, this disaster remains the deadliest in the state. On June 9, 1972, numerous thunderstorms caused heavy rainfall and subsequent flooding. The death toll was 238. Tennessee, Fraterville Mine Disaster. Some 216 workers died as the result of an explosion in a coal mine on May 19, 1902. Texas, Galveston Hurricane. On September 8, 1900, Galveston Island was struck by a hurricane, killing between 6,000 and 12,000 people. The Galveston hurricane remains the deadliest natural disaster in the U.S. Utah, Schofield Mine Disaster. On May 1, 1900, a violent explosion killed about 200 miners in Schofield. Vermont, Great Vermont Flood of 1927. The state was hit by a devastating flood from November 2 to 4, 1927. Some 84 people lost their lives, and hundreds of miles of railroad tracks and roads were destroyed. Virginia, Hurricane Camille. This tragic disaster occurred between August 14 and 22, 1969. Hurricane Camille was one of 4 Category 5 hurricanes to have ever hit the country. Some 150 people died in Virginia alone. Washington, 2021 heat wave. The 2021 heat wave killed at least 112 people in Washington state alone. The Pacific Northwest heat wave lasted from June to July. West Virginia, Hawks Nest Tunnel Disaster. Between 1930 and 1935, at least 746 workers drilling a tunnel were killed by a lung disease called silicosis, which is caused by inhaling silica dust. Wisconsin, Peshtigo Fire. On October 8, 1871, several fires were active, including the Great Chicago Fire and the Great Midwest Fires in Michigan. The Peshtigo Fire killed 1,000 people in Wisconsin alone. Wyoming, Hannah Mine Disasters. An explosion trapped 200 workers in a coal mine in Hannah on June 30, 1903. The fire burned for days, and 169 miners died as a result.
Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe for more information. Please do support us.